Ruby Speaks, Chapter 8, Palomo. As I stand here sorting piles of laundry, I see my second child, my feisty daughter, washing her white horse. Tom does not come home often. His actions are terribly odd. The children have to make do with old clothes and old shoes. But when our second child got the highest marks in her 6th level class, Tom gave her a white horse. We could barely afford food for ourselves, but this was of no concern to him. She loves horses. She can work to buy food and feed Palomo. She has to learn to be responsible, to care for things. Palomo was a sturdy and hungry creature, sensual, strong. When Anna washed her, I was often fearful that she would be kicked or trampled on. This never happened. Early each Saturday, Anna would walk to the hills not far from our house, walk to where her friend Jules permitted her to keep her horse. The two girls would ride back together to our home, working with focus and with great glowing amounts of courage. And Palomo had wings. I saw them one morning. The morning rain poured down in a vicious torrent, pelting the rooftops and green leaves of laden mango trees in my front yard. Palomo's wings were full, were grand. As I scrubbed the filth off the 15 white shirts I would have to wash that day, I noticed Palomo whinny, and I smelled the damp air mingling with the velvet coat of his body. The two girls had gone to pick up some more soap for his white flesh, white, hairy coat, and left him tied to a sturdy breadfruit tree. Palomo had the eyes of heaven's own blueness, and with the pupils as black as sodden and silky night. When he whinnied, I saw him shift the weight from his 2 front hooves to the 2 back ones. I noticed in what seemed like an impossibility that his front hooves were a few inches from the hard, dark earth. Then, like the soft sails of a sleek and swift sailboat, his wings started to separate from his body. In a slow motion, in tandem, the wings started to dance out. The rain touching each of the soft feathers that began to unfurl with moist and tantalizing drops. Feathers! Palomo began to rise into the air, first only a few inches, then more and more. He bent down towards the strong hemp rope that held him fast to the tree and nibbled himself free. Up, his stunning and proud head flinging his mane in an unkempt motion, shaking hard, and his eyelashes slapping the rain off of themselves. East was the direction that beckoned him, and off he went. Time seemed to freeze in me, and the wind and the rain and the sound of barking dogs and the flapping of wings of pigeons that came to visit us often mingled with the flow of the frank and volatile wilderness of the fresh and rainy morning. I have an inkling that perhaps the established rules of science do not fit into the patterns of reality that we create. Unspeakable threads of knowledge flow out before us, and we recognize them, for they are recognizable by their color, by their line, by their scent. My neighbor keeps chickens, you see, in her backyard. She dresses only in red, and she rides a bicycle that has a purple kite flapping wildly behind her in the air as she pedals fast past my house. Each day she straps a large, bright yellow box to the back of her bike, secures the flag with green twine, hitches up her skirt, and pedals off. I have sometimes seen her unpack her yellow box, 2 or 3 bananas, a loaf of bread, golden apples, and once a small reddish kitten. Today, as I sorted and scrubbed laundry, and Palomo took flight, she coasted by. The soup that was simmering on the stove started to boil, and my baby Michael, the one growing inside of me, danced a fairy dance, stretching my womb. I saw his fingers in my mind's eye curled in a soft pink fist, and I could imagine his black, thick hair swimming in the fluid of his home, his cocoon of time, in me. I love to know that they have all started in me. As if I walk with time and the richest glow of nature's bounty in me, I pressed my hand to my stomach. Is he moving, Ruby? Tom had come in and folds his arms about me. He is, I startled and responded, he is. I saw the horse this morning. Did you? He asked. Yes, I saw Palomo. I saw Palomo fly. Tom can see the flight of horses. How can this be anything but annoying? He can taste the flash of lightning. He knows when the babies move in me. He knows that life must be a celebration. But he will not give the children very much at all. His annual display of order and caring takes place around Semana Santa, Easter, when he arrives with small tokens for each child, a feather from a peacock, a rock from the falls of Haspe, the falls of Jasper, a tiny gold nugget from the bottom of a river in El Callao, a river they will never be taken to see. And Palomo flies